Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's live trading action video. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist. Today's date is Tuesday, July 30th, 2019. So take a look at Apple, folks. Apple reports earnings after the bell, was down a little bit earlier, now coming back to the flat line. The stock has made a pretty impressive run from $170 back to $210 going into earnings. And this is just in the last quarter, mind you. So that's pretty amazing in terms of how quickly this run has occurred. You're talking about a $40 move on Apple. I mean, that's basically 25%, just under 25% on one of the largest companies in the world. Now the question is, what will it likely do on earnings? So I have a major gap fill right here and a pivot high. So notice how close we are to that. So could Apple go up on earnings? Yes, it could, but most likely if it does, it'll be a very small move to the upside. So you're talking $2 to $5 probably. Now, if it falls, there's a lot more room for it to fall. You've been hammering on the 20 here and here, so the 20 is minor in terms of support. The next support is down here at 195. So there's actually a decent amount of downside. So essentially what I'm doing for you is I'm giving you the risk reward scenario. So there's a small amount of risk if you're short where it could go up, $2 to $5 on you, which is it could. I mean, in all fairness, it should fill the gap. So I mean, I kind of am in the camp that it goes up a little bit on earnings, but if for some reason they miss, there's a lot of downside. And again, you could take that if you want to use option strategies to build that in and whatnot. Again, options are risky. Playing earnings are even riskier, so just be aware of that as well. Okay, couple things I want to do. I have some stocks I want to make you very aware of in terms of trading opportunities. Look at this chart of Walmart. I just came across this. Look at the bear flag underneath the 20 moving average. This is one of the best chart setups that I have come across in quite some time. I'm going to short some with the Research Center here very, very shortly because it's just too good of a chart not to play. Again, short term, you should at least see a move down to the 50 moving average, but I think this is probably your ultimate target all the way down here, maybe the 200, but I think in the very least you're going below 105, which is a nice little gain. I mean, that'll be in a short amount of time, this could get about 7%, 6-7% in the tank easily, maybe even a little bit more. All right, so that's one of them. Travelers, TRV, another one that's had an epic run. I mean, look at this run, just nonstop up. Look at the bear flag building, 2 moving averages on top. This is another beautiful short setup that I absolutely adore. So 2 short setups that have high percentage win rates if you go short on them. And again, good reward versus the risk. Risk on this would just be any close above this high would negate the trade above 155. Your downside is all the way down to 135. So you've got about $12.50 of risk versus about $7.5 about $12.50 of reward versus about $7.50 of risk. So that's a good risk reward profile right there as well. Couple other stocks that I'm keeping an eye on. Yesterday we picked up some call options on Tilray. Those are already doing well. We're already about 25% in the money on those, but I think this is going higher. I love this little banded range it's in. Low end of the band right here should push up back to $50. And again, I like Tilray down here off of the major supports. All right. In other words, again, one thing I just want to mention, folks, the Federal Reserve is tomorrow, but Apple is after the bell today. The Fed is the biggest thing, so make sure you understand that. The Fed is by far the biggest event. Apple will be important for technology, depending on what they say about China and so forth, and iPhone sales. That could be influential for the rest of the tech sector. But for the most part, everyone's just watching that Fed tomorrow. That's going to be the big one. Then you got the non-farm payrolls on Friday. So the rest of the week will be really, really big. Really, really big type action going on in the next week or the next few days or so into Friday. All right, guys, bottom line is come join us at InTheMoneyStocks.com. I took another profit today, PYPL in the Research Center. This is another winner. We just continue to have winner after winner after winner in the Research Center. I took my profits just above the lows this morning near the open, right there at 109. We were short from all the way up here. This was a great fall, and again, banked some beautiful action for our members on this trade. You can go check out the Research Center track record. Under our free services tab, you'll see Research Center track record. And again, folks, it speaks for itself. We've been doing this for such a long time now that this is just kind of on autopilot at this point, and we just kind of, put out the trades, take the profits. Put out the trades, take the profits. It's why we have so many hedge fund clients now that we've accumulated over the years, is because we just are robots at this point. The analysis is PPT methodology, and the hedge funds end up basically being the top performing hedge funds in the world based on our trade calls. All right. Have a great one as always, guys.